Calhan, Colorado has had an Orthodox community for over a century, spanning 6 generations. The first parishioners were Slavic immigrants coming from the east looking for a better life on the frontier. They brought from their European homeland their strong tradition of living off the land and their Orthodox faith. Life for the early Slovak settlers was filled with hardship and difficulty. The first homes were dug out of the earth or were made of blocks of sod and rock, and wells had to be dug by hand. Life on the prairie had an assortment of other challenges, such as floods, harsh winters, and seasons of severe drought. But through all of this, the Orthodox of Calhan kept to their faith, and to this day continue a tradition of hard work and living off the land. In 1903, St. Tikhon of Moscow consecrated the ground for St. Michael's Orthodox Church in Pueblo, Colorado. Many of the faithful from Calhan were present and were inspired to build their own church in which they could worship. In 1905, Archbishop Tikhon traveled to the very isolated area north of Calhan on his way to New York and consecrated the ground on which the first St. Mary's Holy Dormition Church would be built.
Well, my name is Margaret Moore Makita, and I was born the year of, 5/14/23,
And how long have you been in the Orthodox Church?
all my life. The only thing I can remember as a child is going them long distances in a wagon, approximately 8 miles from home to church.
Baba Margie, her parents knew St. Tikhon. They were here when he was here. Like her parents. She's 96 years old. She grew up here, went through the Depression, grew up through everything in this area, stuff like that over the years. And she's still around here, and you kind of see that. Most people don't stay in an area very long. You know, I came from a town where people were used to only living there for 2 to 3 years. And out here, it's like you've got great-grandchildren who are still living out here. You know, this community is unique in the sense that if this place burned down, let's say today, tomorrow there'd be a new church here. That's just something unique about this parish. I don't think people really realize that folks out here, you know, they say salt of the earth, are really salt of the earth folks out here. They will come together if there's a need for something. You never have to worry about that because they always make sure things are taken care of. You know, something we don't necessarily find in the world today is sort of this idea of service and real community, where that doesn't just stop at like when they are in church and are taught by the priest or heard in sermons to go out and serve others. Like people out here really embody that. They really, it's kind of part of their very being and their soul.
We're pretty close-knit. I think, we would stand up for one another no matter what, when people get in a bind, we're always there. So I think, we've been very fortunate, that the church is there and we're able to maintain it. And
you hear people all the time saying, we want to live in an area where it feels Orthodox, feels like there's a real community, where people love and care about each other, and that's just kind of bred into the people out here, from all generations, from adults to kids.
It's a way of life, really, to me. We pray that God will give us rain, and we raise a crop, raise cattle, take care of them, put them out in the world so people can, nourish from them, and that's our legacy that I've been raised with. Been here, like I say, all my life, worked around and helped people out, and that's what I'm for.
My dad brought us up that You go to church for your salvation. It's you and God, and that's what it boils down to. I love my church. You couldn't get me to change the church if that was the last thing.
Orthodox, what I like about it is it came from day one, from 2,000 years, you know, and it hasn't changed like all the others. They've dropped this, dropped that, changed here, and we've stayed the same, and that's what I like about it. It's something that, it's part of the past, and it's the future too. It's our future, and we've got to keep it.
I'm not cradle Orthodox. I did convert. My family, or the rest of my family, my wife and my children, are catechumens here right now. The very first time I came here, no fewer than 5 people came up to me, introduced themselves, welcomed us to the church, and as soon as that happened, I said, you know, this is where we need to come.
Well, life in church was something special for me. That's all I could really say.
Others have come and they're gone, or they've changed, they've weakened, and it's, like I say, this is here and it's strong. It's something to be proud of, to acknowledge that you are part of it.